Hello everyone and welcome to this week's EWA webinar. And today I'm in Istanbul. Maybe I should show you guys. I will show you guys later. It's pretty hot in here and we just came back from holiday. Today we have a pretty exciting webinar. We are going to cover, first of all, the weekly review of sites. So everyone here is new. I know that I saw that Claire was here. She will be a new English EWA. We use the sites for training purposes, and it's also, I also learn while we're doing everything. So each week I try to cover a lesson or some insight that I've been working on. And we don't manage our EWAs with like micromanagement. That's impossible when you work remotely. So we basically give goals and KPIs. And this time around, I've actually put the goals for August in. And in the insight I'll cover this week is the power of CTR click-through rate, both for metas and for ads, and then the relevant landing pages. On almost all the sites, we have some work to do there. Then, because I got a lot of questions about it, I will cover the Elite Word Upper guaranteed payments for August. And this is mainly for new EWAs. So the first month or 2 months, depends a bit on learning curve. It's almost a necessity, although we make exceptions to work full-time. Obviously, if you are going to invest that much time in Word App, you need some kind of guarantee. You have bills to pay. So I will explain a bit how that works. Then I will, for everybody here that wants to become an EWA or write more in Word App, I will explain a bit how the weekly writing webinars will work. I've also added payment for all our EWAs, so they will get paid €25 per webinar for doing it, and they have to. Finally, there will be a Q&A and how you're getting the reward points in this webinar. One thing about the reward points, if you're not joining it live, you don't get the reward points. So there's no way, we give away, it's basically €8. We give it away, to kind of give an incentive to join the webinar. So please don't write me in the chat if you don't know what it's going to be. You need to watch the webinar to do that. Okay, so I will get right on it. Today, Jörn is in a meeting with PayPal, so Sanna will cover the chat. So first, we start with the sites, and I've done some small changes here. I think we have done very good the last week, very good all of you. The market is very difficult for this kind of sites. It's very seasonal, and also because of the Corona, obviously there's way less people traveling. I think flights are down 70%. So prices and stuff are going up, but I think we're doing pretty good. What I've done this week is that I've put monthly goals, which you see here, and this is actually August goals, obviously. So it will be for Sanna and for the hair transplant site in Finland, it will be 100 leads. That is the goal for August. It might be difficult to reach, but that's the goal. And then we kind of, once that starts running, that site is pretty mature and we can actually start with a new one or scale it up. What else? I have like some insights. I will go through some of the stuff. Sanna, you did a great job with the new landing page. You have added, where do I have that? Pages. I took away clinics, and I'm saying like you have done 18 pages. You did 3 last week. The goal for August is 40 pages. And it's 40 pages for all sites except the English ones where we have 50 as a goal. I will get back to that. You work, and everybody, I mean, I think you should do a webinar with Bjorn or something. All the EWAs, you need to work on your site speed. You need to add 22 new landing pages, like clinics, I don't know, hair transplant Turkey, female hair transplantation, that kind of stuff that has searches. We will do some outreach, and we will also incorporate a new flow. Me and Bjorn will do that. We have some really good success with it. We have incorporated Calendly and HubSpot, among others. And then you probably want to review the metas after it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know Finnish, and you probably write very good metas, so I don't know. Linda, you have done a very good job with the pages. I don't know why your site is performing that bad on ads. Hårtransplantation.nu is performing amazingly good, so I think you should talk a bit to Helene. You have the same things. You have the goals here to the right. I mean, site speed needs to go up, but I mean, it's good. It needs to go up a bit. You need to add more landing pages. You need to do outreach, and I think you need to work on the metas, and obviously the ads also. Randy has done some good stuff. You did some new a new landing page. You added some clinics. You obviously we need to start Google Ads pretty soon. And Linda, you have on Hairline Transplant Turkey. I mean, that we are working all of it together. It in July it was 197 out of 200 leads. We're starting to get organic leads each week now. The prices are pretty good. Speed is good. I mean, there it's mostly about producing landing pages and getting the CTR up. I think conversion is really good, and we need to do at least 10 outreach. That site is starting to become really good, and change the flow on it. Claire, you're new, and you're getting hairline transplantation, which is, I mean, obviously amazing domain name, but we did some changes on it this week. I'm going to show those. So one of the things for all the EWAs, so you all by default have access to your site in Website Manager. So Website Manager is our custom built kind of dashboard where we integrate a lot of different tools, and you can see everything from bounce rates. You have a one-click login, so you can just log into the site right away. If you are plugin installed, content gets sent automatically, and you can also track the SERP. So if we take hairline transplantation, we can see here that we have one top 10. I mean, hairline transplantation in the UK is ranking 5. It dropped to 37 on mobile. The reason for that is crystal clear. Mobile speed has dropped a lot. We did some changes and we messed it up. So once the speed goes up here, it will probably go back. Good news, we're starting to rank in the US. Other than that, this site is not performing so good. So you have a lot of work here. The site itself, go to the site, like this. So we did a very similar thing to hairline transplant Turkey. So I tried to get the conversion up, changed a lot of headers, I changed a lot of metas. The site is still not converting. We will get back to that. We added a lot of reviews. The goal, I mean, what we need to work on here is obviously we must simply get the conversion rate up. It's 2.11 and hairline transplant Turkey is 7.65. CTR on the ads are pretty good. And I mean, I think we need to, I mean, just go ahead and work on it. We need to, so your goal is to produce 41 new landing pages in August. And we need to get the leads up. We're about 80 short and the price is very high. Monica, you did a good job this week. You had a lot of sites. The site is way faster. We need to start with ads there also. So the insight in what we've been working on the last week is two things. There's something called, I mean, I go back here. So it was, I want to talk a bit about the power of CTR. And CTR is click-through rate. And if you do a search, so if you search for, I search for, now obviously nothing incognito, so the results will be a bit weird. But you see, I mean, we rank here in the first result. Probably because it remembers me. I'm really curious now what happens if I go to incognito here. How do I do that? So this is a very, I mean, this is an incredibly good result. I didn't want that one, but if you look at the other ones here, you have like, these are the results that you see, and these are the typical ones, obviously. On mobile, they look a bit different. So on one result page, there's 3 ads, and then there's 10 search results. They always look a bit different. CTR is going to affect how many people visit your site. So if there's 100 searches a day and your CTR is 20%, then you get 20 of those guys to come to your site. So here we rewrote, or I did a change on headline transplantation where I added the icon for, I mean, like kind of medal for, I mean, number one, like for that. I added some checkboxes. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that the second one here will probably convert way better and have a higher CTR and then rank higher. So this is something you as an EWA should probably review. I saw it on the Swedish sites, for example, that the clinic methods are not very good. We could probably boost traffic a lot by improving those. And then the other way to make money by writing good copy. I'm a fanatic about methods and ad copy. So that's to write mobile ads or like Google ads, and or I mean for Facebook obviously. But so you have a limited amount of characters, and I mean people think that Google charges per click, but they don't. They charge per impression. So it's CPM, cost per milli. It's not cost per million. So per 1,000 impressions they charge, and the higher your CTR are, the lower your price per click becomes. And if you compare those two ads, they're almost identical. One to the left has 11.19% CTR, and I think it is because it simply, I mean, the name is hair transplant Turkey cost. So probably if we would do a new landing page on hairline transplantation care that is Turkey, and we will send all this traffic to that page, we might be able to reach this kind of results. And then you also see that this is an Irish ad, and we're specifically mentioning that it's 75% lower in Ireland. And then they have searched for office in Turkey, and we're also mentioning that. So it's very clear that this is, I mean, a much better ad. Always, I mean, twice as many people click on this one. Here we have some free money basically, and the good news is that you don't need to decide right away which ad is best. You just do a split test, and then Google will decide that for you. So it tests different variations. And so this is one way to do it. And then I check the landing pages. So on mobile, the one to the left, from that ad that I just showed, it has a 14.29% conversion. That's through the roof. It's amazing. I mean, like we're printing money when we do that. And I think the other one is not horrible. I mean, they more or less look identical. But I think compare hair transplant cost in Turkey, get free offers it's more clear, it looks a bit prettier. And because if you combine the CTR on the previous page, which was 11.29, with the conversion, you get 1.6% of all impressions become leads. That's what this means. And if you combine an ad which is 6.31% CTR, the global standard is 4.1%, so we are above average, but and a 5.26% conversion, which is also above average, you only get 0.3% of all impressions become leads. So I think like this is probably the biggest work for August, is to create better landing pages, just fine-tune some of the stuff. And I think that was the insight, and we did a change here where when the sites look more or less identical, but it's still this huge difference in conversions. It means that the copy here is not clear enough probably. And we need to mention Turkey and stuff like that. So we need to do unique landing pages. And I mean, that's kind of what WordUp does. That's the power of everything. The more pages you create and the better copy you create, the more conversions you get. And then I also want to cover like also the guarantee payment. So everybody's listening. So if you want to become an EWA, you have to write good. Stated that you do that, and I will come to how we can test you and why we're doing the writing webinars. So even if you're not a great writer now for the web, you might be able to, I mean, you might like writing, but writing for the web is a bit different. You can join our webinars. And if you are a great writer and you have experience, we obviously want to fast track you. But there is a lot. And learning all the stuff here, I mean, I've been running 7 webinars now. We have speed webinars. There's tons of stuff to work. I mean, you will be exhausted the first month. So what we do is we have guaranteed payments. And here I kind of want to explain on like how our pricing works. So depending on markets, and this is not something we decide, it's the market that decides it, we have different prices per word. And you get paid per for writing words. So our list price is 9.4 cents for finish, for example. And we pay 19% to the writer. We pay 6% to the editor. So all our texts go through a flow where there's a writer writing, with there's rows with templates, and then it goes to copy state, so we check that the text is not copied. Typically 90% of the text has to be unique. And then if that passes, it goes to an editor. The editor's sole function is to check if someone has a bad day. So we expect the writer to submit the perfect text. You will never become an EWA or make a lot of money in WordUp if you submit things with spelling mistakes or are just sloppy. I mean, then nobody has time or energy to work with that kind of attitude, I would say. And then the EWA, they get almost as much as the writer. They get 13% for uploading the order, and then finally, I mean, doing keyword research and that kind of stuff, talking to the client, and then finally publishing it, making sure it's good and putting it on the page. So totally 38% goes out. So, okay, so is WordUp making 62%? Of course not. So all the clients have discount on the price list, and that discount for most clients is 30%. So we, with the platform, with all the payment system, I mean, we have to pay Visa 3%, we have to pay PayPal money. We don't make 62%, we barely make that. And to make a comparison, in the App Store, if you sell an app, Google or Apple, they don't do 40%. And they don't except doing phone sales. So what we do is here is like the first month as EWA, and I'm taking Claire as an example here, but it could also be Monica. Depending on the language, you get a minimum amount of words. So to the left here, you have the number of words you can produce, and theoretically, you could write, edit, and publish all of this text and get €1,000. However, obviously, by running writing webinars and similar ideas that you pay, I mean, that you only do editing and publishing, and the writers make that money. So you train them and build a team around it. We think that is very important. So, however, if we don't manage you or you need more money or something, you could theoretically do this. But if you watch my previous webinars, you will see that one of our principles is that you have to train. So, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't write everything yourself. And then we have, and here's an example. I mean, like, so to make 1,000 euros in EWA, you would have to write, edit, and publish on 78 texts in English or 56 in Finnish. And then finally, you have some extras. So each EWA that works full-time makes money on some other stuff. So we have a setup of clients. You get 100 euro each for those. If you are, if you know how to do it, when you get trained, you have to pay some people to do it. So maybe it's not the first month, but the second month. Then we have network sites where we pay 50 euro each. Those are our own sites where we train some people. And then this is a new thing that I think everybody will like. It's that we will start running, so 2 webinars a month per EWA. So we're pairing everyone up. So in Finland, it's Seive and Sanna, for example. You will do 4 webinars in total, 2 each, and you get paid 25 euro each to do this. Those are writing webinars. You will also have one for the Google Devices review webinar. And when you check the site metrics, which you do each Monday, you will additionally get a total of 20 euro for checking them. But I mean, you do it 2 weeks, and then maybe David does it 2 weeks, for example. So the minimum amount and specials that you can earn here is 995 euro. This is, I mean, if you're like Sanna or someone that is very experienced, you obviously make way more than this, but this is like a guarantee. Then finally, I would like just to recap. How do you get started as a new writer? You earn reward points. You can do this through surveys. In some markets, there's not many surveys. Then we have my webinar where all of you get an email sent today or yesterday where you get the opportunity to write 2 split ads. And if those are good and you submit them, you will get paid reward points. Obviously, if it's typos and stuff in it, you will get automatically disqualified and probably don't get any invites for future webinars, so be careful with that. And then you spend the reward points on training tasks where payment is lower. The reason why payment is lower is because you're going to school, you're learning something, you have to pay someone, we're paying the EWAs for this. That's what the editing and publishing is about there. The other option is to go on online courses on YouTube or whatever and come back when you have learned all the stuff. I don't think you can because there's stuff. You have to do it. And then you will get access to normal tasks. WordUp puts them in the task feed, but we are always, I mean, because we don't publish anything ourselves, so there's no point in going to the chat and say, can you give me work? Because it's the EWA that's going to give the work. And they can decide if they want to make the tasks public or not, or the client if the client is publishing themselves. What do we have now? So we will launch next week. I mean, probably be gradually, but we will launch, I mean, Finnish writing webinars. We have already launched English. It's each Wednesday. It's called, Linda is doing it. Linda, you can pair up and discuss with Claire on how to do it. So you maybe can run one every second week each or something. You get paid 25 euro each for those. Danish we will start running, Norwegian will start running, Swedish we will start running. And very soon, once these are rolling, because these are core markets, then we will add Turkish, Dutch, and French, and German. We're looking for people in all these languages. In Turkish, we already have one, but in Dutch and French and German, we're looking for people. Japanese we will also start running, actually, it's not here. And so the weekly webinars are invitation. I mean, they're regular, but you need points to access tasks. And the EWA can distribute these points, it's up to them, or we distribute it to all new people automatically, and one way to get them is obviously this webinar. One thing I want to stress here, I see a lot of people that are trying to skip steps. It doesn't work. I had people in the chat one day after asking for their reward points, and I kind of obviously, I mean, I asked like, okay, what was the task? The person had no idea because they obviously joined the webinar, and that is just a waste of everybody's time. Let's not do that. So before I get how to get the reward points for this week, maybe we should do the Q&A. So I'll open the chat here, and then I hope that you have, Sanna has some, I mean, if you have any questions now, could you please write them in the chat, and then I will answer them as they go. Okay, so Linda says that you change it to Tuesdays. So one question then, is that webinar, is it permanent now? Because I mean, it has to be permanent the same day, same time each week. Okay, perfect. So Linda, so we will put up a page for this. So exactly like this, my webinar, which I mean, I run like clockwork each week. Like Linda will have an English one, and then, like I said, we will launch it in the other languages. So if you miss one, you can always join the other one, and I'm sure that will be some interesting stuff for people to do. So does anyone have any questions? This is the time to ask them. In the chat, as you probably see, is that we are not very fast at answering. We have too much to do for that. We're going to implement AI for it. It's always the same questions. It's like, when do I get work? How do I get access to reward tasks? And we funnel them into this webinar. So does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, I will fast track to yes. So Tori is asking, does this being my first webinar push me back training-wise? So I'm assuming that your native language is English. Then, I mean, obviously you can just jump into Linda's or Claire's writing webinar on Tuesday. There is tons of work. I mean, like, it's unlimited. It depends on your skill, of course. Then on YouTube/WordApp, we upload all webinars we do. Even, I mean, some of the secret ones are uploaded there. It's very transparent, and the reason is that we want kind of people to learn how to do stuff. Okay, so Tori, I hope that, yes, okay. So Tori, I mean, like, I think, like, write to Linda at wordapper.com, or join her webinar on Tuesday, or write in the chat, and we can forward it to her, so you just join that one. If you write the split ads, you will get 8 reward points. It will be awesome. I mean, we look to launch 10, 15 more English sites very soon. So, I mean, yeah. Okay. So then Linda is saying, does anyone ever want to come and chat on my webinar? Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, that, Linda, I think is something maybe Jorn can organize. He will help you with the writing webinars. I think it's a great idea that you join, but the original, like, let's say, at least theoretical plan is that you work in pairs. So you and Claire can co-host, or you can do it every other week. I think in the beginning, to accelerate your learning curve, it's good if you are 2 people on it. So it's English only. It's not about writing in Finnish necessarily. Then Joanna is asking, is there any coming webinar for business agency versus how to build an agency? So Joanna, the step 1 is the fast track as an EWA, and there's a couple of different ways of doing that, but you need to pass the test. I need Sanna or Päivi to say like, okay, Joanna is writing great, then probably you need to recruit some people for reward points, and we can fast track you with the Finnish site. And I mean, there's a lot. We're building a lot of sites in Finland, so there should be work. You kind of have to pass those steps before we can help you with the agency part. And that's the whole idea, that you guys, I mean, you get 100 euro for setting up the site through us. But if you go directly to a client and hopefully use WordUp for a lot of that work, I mean, you don't get 100 euro, you get way more than that. And especially if it's like a bit of a SME kind of service, let's say chiropractor or carpenter or something, then you can set up a site and probably get 1,000 euro just for the setup. But it's fundamentally the same things that you're learning here and doing for 50 euro. And I mean, we're getting very good at it actually. So I hope that is the answer to that. Okay, so you answered that. Is there any other questions? I'm maybe 3 minutes over time today, but that's okay. It's a long one. Okay, so then I will skip to the final step, which is how you get the reward points this week. And we have all sent you a split ad task by email. It looks something like that. There's some instructions. It's in your native language, obviously. If you're Finnish, you should write it in Finnish. If you're Swedish, you should write it in Swedish. If you're English, you should write it in English. And you write 2 split ads. You write your WordUp ID there, and then you get the points for the next webinar. And obviously, if your ad is great, if you have some insight, that's why we're doing it. I mean, we're stuck. We're running around in holes. Maybe you come up with something crazy that will increase CTR and conversion a lot. I mean, obviously, you're going to get the money bonus for that. But we don't know that until a couple of weeks. But that's like, let's say, it's a bonus, and we definitely want to give you that because we want to. If you're writing that good, we will give away more copy and metas and stuff that is very tricky to write, and reward you with those. So that is it for today. Next week, I'm flying, me and my wife, we're flying to Stockholm on Saturday. So next week, you will be work forever from Stockholm, I guess. So see you guys next week, and good luck with everything. And just reach out for us in the chat if you have any questions. Yeah, okay. Bye-bye.